Hello, welcome to the SLS Wrestling Podcast Bash and Berlin edition. I am the host, Sugar Ray. Here's my co-host, Legion, the most sexiest wolf you'll ever see.
Hello.
It's something about you and the wave. I don't know. It's I really think, you should make an emote on it, and that. So with that should just be your primary character, and that. So
I've been considering it,
it's
believe it or not.
yeah. I really do think. I don't know if that's been trademarked and all that stuff, but I think it's just a really, like had I known I'd trademark it for myself, and I would stop people having to look at my ugly mug and that. So, but yeah, um,
You're not ugly. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I
No, no,
try
no,
not to
no, no,
talk
no.
down myself, but we all know it's true. So we all know everyone comes here for you and that. So, um, how you been, Legion? How have you been enjoying the wrestling lately?
The Reds actually been really good. Believe it or not, I've been really enjoying it.
I will say as well, both companies. We're going to touch on AEW's pay per view they had over the weekend and that, but quickly want to get into the SummerSlam results as well. By the way, perfect score right here. I'm going to bring that up every time. I know you're going to say I did have Gunther winning by DQ, but I had him winning, so perfect score here. Title's back, so yeah.
Technicalities.
Listen. I got perfect. Just get over it and let's move on to that. Like we could go. I just want to bring up something with you. With the Liv Liv retaining the title over Rhea. Someone brought this up. Dom was the heel in that, and he's become more heel because of what happened. I think that's just brilliant by Dominic Mysterio.
I can't think of this. I don't know if you think of it, but he might be the only person in history from a heel to turn into a heel.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's exactly right. I thought where he's come from in debuting, he's nearly been 5 years as a wrestler in WWE, and that I think in fact SummerSlam 2020 was his debut, so it's going on 4 years and that. Like it's just
Be honest, I after seeing him as a heel for so long and the way he carries himself, I can't see him as a face anymore. Ever.
I think there'll be a point in time when he'll be face, and I hope it's before Ray retires and that, like he finally sees the ways of his. Can you imagine the pop for that? I feel like Ray's getting beaten down, Dominic's wrestling, with either helping him or joining in the beatdown of Ray, and then I don't know who would be like attacking Ray in that, but I think that. But anyway, let's quickly get on to the other results. Good to see Braun win the Intercontinental title. I think it was a 5 minute match. I know you brought this up. I wouldn't mind if he had squashed Sammy because I don't think it would have affected Sammy. Like
No.
spear. That's it. Match over in a minute or two.
Is that would have severely elevated Braun,
Yeah.
and Sammy's career would not have budged.
Yeah. I think that as well. Like
He's still well over, so well liked,
yeah.
and he would have gotten buried.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have.
Yeah. We also had.
And I agree with the whole what happened on Raw as well. So I'm gonna bring that up real fast.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
They should did a squash on that as well. So they should have.
Yeah. I think the 2 out of 3 full matches was actually okay. Just this is what we love here at the SLS Wrestling Podcast. We can agree to disagree, and we'll be respectful about it and that. So, I think maybe they could have gone with Braun winning 2 straight and that, and like really, showing that he's learned from his past mistake at the pay per view at the. I'm forgetting the pay per view for SummerSlam. I'm forgetting the name as well. So unfortunately, I don't know if you remember.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. Let me quickly have a look at that before previous and that. So Money in the Bank. How could I forget Money in the Bank? I thought it was Money in the Bank. I was going to say it was Money in the Bank
Because
that,
it wasn't that memorable, to be honest.
Yeah, that's probably true as well. So
Actually, no. Wait, yeah, Money in the Bank.
let's also go through. It's good to see LA Knight finally win the title. That's all I can say. Thank God. Nia Jax winning as well. I think that was the right move in the end. I think she could have a better reign. I've enjoyed Bayley, but Bayley as a face was just. It was done too quickly, and
Yeah, with her run as a face has been I hate to say it, lackluster.
Yeah, it's not. It's. I've always found it harder for faces when they're chasing the title, then they win the title just to have good reigns. Like, even with we could probably bring up Cody as well. Like, it's been an okay reign, had some really good matches in that, but it's just after that
Yeah.
a year
With
chasing.
Bailey winning at WrestleMania, I think that was a. After thinking about it hard, is like that was a bad call having her win it right away like that.
Yeah,
As a face,
mm-hmm.
they should have had her lose and
And then maybe
build up a story with EO.
Yeah,
and then get and win it at Backlash or something.
Yeah. They could probably done, but that's Drew winning over Punk and that they could have gone either way, and yeah, I enjoy the match. I know a lot of people thought the match was focused on the bracelet and that well what we got to focus on something in the story and that we can't keep bringing all these other stories redone that they would have brought. But I either one of them winning would have been it was a 50-50 match, and I think with Drew winning, we'll get into the predictions later on. I think it's obviously we know who's going to win at Bash, and then if they go to Bad Blood and have a Hell in a Cell match, which there's been a confirmation that Rhea and Liv are going to be Hell in a Cell. So would they have more than one Hell in a Cell match? Maybe a bit overkill. I don't know. And that
No.
Then we got Gunther winning the title. Like we both thought Gunther was winning. Well, actually, I think you tipped Priest in that, but you made the good point.
I think I did choose.
You made the good point as well. Like Gunther, winning another title after he just had a 600-day reign as the IC probably doesn't make too much sense because he can't lose it straight away, and I don't see him losing it straight away. So
I'm a Gunther fan as much as the next person because he's an excellent performer. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
On the mic, don't get me wrong. He's good on the mic.
Yeah.
But what was the percentage rate that I saw of
him as champion in WWE? It's
it was like 95% of his career in WWE. He's been champion.
No, it's not that high. It was the high 80s. I will say that. So yeah, it's.
It was a pretty high number.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember the number.
Yeah,
it was a really high number.
It was the high. It was. I think it was the high 80s in that. Like it's 80% of your career in WWE. He's had the title, and then also since he debuted in 2019, he's only lost 5 times. I know 2020 and 2021, there wasn't much of him and that, but
no.
Now
my question with that one right there is, who in wrestling history, not just WWE wrestling history, also has that kind of record?
Well, you go Hulk Hogan would be one. I think I'll have to have a look back at the career, but they did a video on it that Hulk Hogan's career up until I think he retired in 2010. It was his last match with Sting. I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong on this and that, but he'd only lost from
when that was in TNA, right?
Yeah, that was in TNA. From his time in wrestling, which was like the early 80s and that, to 2010, he'd only lost 23 times. I'm pretty sure it's in the 20s and that, and that's astounding.
He was one of the most protected wrestlers, wasn't he?
Yeah, and I don't mind them protecting Gunther and that. And then, obviously with the turn of Priest and Finn, which we saw coming and that, so, they can move into another thing. But then, let's get to the main event. Number one, they turned it into a Bloodline Rules match a couple of days before, which I thought, did it really need it? Do you think it really needed it?
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
They could have, I know they... I don't know.
I see why they did it.
Yeah.
To reminisce into what happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And then
of course to bring in Roman Reigns.
And I bet Vince McMahon is sitting there going, I tried to get him over for so long, and Triple H has done. It took Triple H a bit of time, but got him over, and that pop was. It's not on the Edge return level, but it's pretty damn close. I just went, holy shit. And even now, it's still the pop for him is amazing and that. And yeah, so anyway, let's get into, that's the SummerSlam and that. I thought it was a really good SummerSlam. I think, WWE, I think at the minute are not taking too much risk. They've been really good pay-per-views. This was really good as well, but I can't remember last time it was a bad pay-per-view, but we should get into the show as well. Um, we've got, of course, Bash in Berlin. I'm just curious, Legion, what is your favorite international pay-per-view that you can remember?
Well, I've been thinking real hard on this, but it's hard to top what happened in France. I'm not kidding. It's hard to top. It's hard to top it.
I will say the crowd over there, like, they need the biggest clapping ever. Like, the crowd made that show as well. So, yeah, it's
Yeah, I was thinking real hard for quite a while on this. I'm like, I can't think of one outside of that.
yeah. I mean, for me as well. Like, it's this year as well. Like the pay per view in Australia, the Elimination Chamber as well. Just to have two Australian wrestlers main event the two born Australian wrestlers main event.
Don't get me wrong, that was pretty iconic for in that perspective right there. But the pay per view itself, in generalization, was very lackluster.
Yeah,
The only good match was the women's elimination chamber in that one. That's why I was originally going to go with the one in Perth, but then I'm like, I had to remember, like, that wasn't a good pay per view.
Yeah, I mean, just
because the match quality was horrible.
Yeah, I could probably go there, but just for the moment to have Rhea and Nia, two females, main event of pay per view, and that I just thought, it was really good as well. And that we probably should get on to the news. Do you want to take the first one, or you want me to take the first one?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, I don't know if you watched All In and that. By the way, All In was really, really effing good. I will say that. I watched a replay of it and we had the debut of Ricochet there in the casino. I'll make sure I get this right. And that we got to try and get this right. What do they call it? They call it the casino gauntlet match. In that they have two type of casino matches in that. So
it was called because it was the original one was the casino battle royale.
Yeah. They have a few casino matches. So it was. Okay, can I say it's good? Like I've always said, good that there's another company, and we're going to talk about maybe even another company coming up and that. But just good that if it doesn't work for guys in WWE, they can go to AEW, TNA, New Japan, all these guys and that. I'm really happy that he's over in AEW and that, and he even had his first match as well on Dynamite just recently, and that's so it's
in all fairness, he would have been huge no matter where he went.
Yeah, and that's so it was really good to see in that, and like it opens up a lot of feuds you can have in AEW. Like I don't know if you saw the tweet from MJF. God, he's good on the tweet in MJF. Like it's just amazing, and I wish we.
The funny thing is, somebody tweeted something out a few months back, or like right when Ricochet was about to leave WWE.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw it or not. Somebody said for MJF to bookmark.
I did see that.
He was going to roast him.
Yeah,
and he said already did.
Yeah, it's just God, it's good. I mean, the feuds you can have in AEW. I'm trying to think of guys that he hasn't really faced from WWE. I don't know if he's faced Samoa Joe. Would be I think he has faced Samoa Joe, and they'd probably take that name out. Bryan Danielson. Bryan. That you've got. I don't know if you've seen All In, but you've got to watch Daniel Bryson's intro with the final countdown playing and the crowd just going off. Like, who would have thought in 2024 we have Cody Rhodes winning the WWE title and we have Daniel Bryan's. God, I was going to call him Daniel Bryan. By the way, Jim Ross called him Daniel Bryan on AEW. I don't know how they would have thought about it, but Bryan Danielson winning the AEW World title in 2024. It's just really good. Two really great wrestlers in that. So yeah, Ricochet and Pac would be good as well. MJF, Will Ospreay. I don't know if you can think of any names. Claudio, we could have that. Willa Yuta. I'm just trying to think of other guys. I think a funny thing would be Ricochet and Orange Cassidy as well. So yeah, but it's just good to see.
Yes,
just good to see. Ricochet. Continuing his wrestling and that. So
didn't he face Claudio when he was in WWE?
I don't remember. He might have, and that, but I'd love to see that. You can just You can just imagine Claudio swinging him for like he's a really guy. Could swing him for maybe. I don't know what's the most Claudio swung someone.
I think it was like, was it 20?
20. I reckon he could get up to 50 with Ricochet and that. I think they could do that.
All right,
So
all right. Let me ask you this: when we're on the topic of Ricochet, real fast,
yeah.
who has the best sales in wrestling right now? Either A, Ricochet, or B, if you go by Nick Nemeth, or let's just call him Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, probably
That's what
Dolph
we go
Ziggler.
by.
Dolph Ziggler has been the best seller ever. So
It's that one's a tough one because Ricochet's becoming became the new Ziggler after he left.
yeah, yeah, and that.
With his sales. What sold me, what I'm still dying over the thing was when I think it was somebody picked him up for a power bomb, and he just screamed.
Yeah,
He screamed like bloody murder.
you have to show that. You have to show me that again off stream.
I gotta find that clip.
We'll continue on with the news as well. God. I don't know why we haven't touched on these before, but you know, we just had Sid. I'm going to butcher his name, but most in WWE he was referred to as Psycho Sid, Sid Justice. In WCW he was referred to Sid Vicious, but unfortunately he passed away. And yeah, it's back when I was a wrestling fan in the 90s and that, like, you know, I still remember 96 being a very terrible time for WWE, WWF back then, WWE, we'll call them now. And that because WCW, that was just when the NWO was starting up and they were, you know, really lacking in that. But it's, was, you know, I just had this presentation of Psycho Sid as he was. And the presentation was good. The wrestling skills and all that we could talk about. The promo skills, I know people are going to bring up with these infamous promo about half the brains that I have, or something like that. But yeah, it's he unfortunately passed away.
I think one of his most infamous incidents that I think all wrestling fans know is that second rope.
Oh yeah. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, it's I think that ended his career, and like he did make a return.
Yeah.
To
he did about, it was like back in the early teens, I think it was.
Yeah, like him and
against Heath Slater.
Him, so yeah, I'd actually put that out of my mind. Yeah, the story behind that as well. WCW wanted him to do more aerial moves and that, and like I thought, you would have thought like he would have gone to him and say, "How about me do a jumping leg drop?" Like I cringe every time in that, but. We should also, I know we talked about, you know, Roman's dad in the past, but we also recently had Alpha, part of the brother of Seeker as well. Unfortunately, he passed away as well. And then also Kevin Sullivan as well. So, look, I don't know too much about the Wild Samoans and that. Like, my first interactions watching Alpha was when he was manager of the Head Shrinkers in the early 90s. And it's just a really tough time. And hopefully pass on the condolences as well from here to all the families of those guys as well. Hopefully they're, you know, doing okay. And that it's the death of anyone is just, you know, it's very tough in that. And with Kevin Sullivan, I don't know too much about Kevin Sullivan, but from what I've been told as well, probably up there with Paul Heyman as one of the greatest minds in WWE, in wrestling general. And that, like, you know, in the early, when he was a booker in WCW, I don't know if you heard this story. Him and Benoit were having a bit of a feud, and he got his then wife involved, Nancy, and encouraged her to go out on dinners with Benoit and all that stuff, and it led to, because Kevin was actually married to Nancy at the time, and then it caused Benoit to have an affair with Nancy and that, and like it's just the fact they kept it so professional in the ring with that stuff. I don't know. I don't think I could be a big man as Kevin Sullivan would have been. Like, he kept it really professional and that, you know, like it's just, you know, a credit to him. And that's, and he really had the greatest mind, one of the greatest minds ever, along with Paul Heyman. And that's, so yeah, we'll pass on condolences to all those guys as well. So, yeah. Can I touch on Sid before we go into the next news as well? There are two things.
Go ahead.
There are two things I think guys should have a look at. Here's a bit of trivia. And I only literally just found this out about an hour ago. Sid was the very first person ever to kick out of Hogan's leg drop. Ever. And that. Yes, there's a bit of controversy with it because it was at WrestleMania 8. It was Sid Justice, as he was named then, and Hulk Hogan and that. The plan finish was Hogan was to do the leg drop and cover Sid, and as the ref was going down for the 3 count, Papa Shango was supposed to interfere, and Papa Shango was nowhere near it, and unfortunately, Sid had to kick out, and that so it's it's
So he had to improvise.
he had to improvise as well on the thing. I don't know how that went over with Hogan, but then Harvey Whippleman got in, and it was a DQ and all that stuff. It was supposed to be a DQ finish, what they thought on the thing. So for Sid to have that as well, like I know it was a bit of controversy, but be the first person to kick out of Hogan's leg drop as well. And there's also one leading into that match as well. There was an incident he had with Brutus the Barber Beefcake on the barbershop where he wrecked the place, and that like got a chair and started destroying the thing. There is an incident when he swings the chair and there's a bit of shaving cream and it explodes, and the can hits him on the face, sprays all the cream on him, and he just keeps on going with the thing. Like I just. I don't know if we can actually. We might post that clip in when we put this on YouTube and that. But have a look at it. The fact that he gets hit with a can, like a shaving cream can, just hits him in the face like it exploded, and he just kept on, wrecking the place. Like just shows he might have not been good on the promos and all that stuff, but when it came down to it, he just kept, going on to the job and that. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, rest in peace, Sid. And then we'll get into the last bit of news as well. One of your favorites is returning to the wrestling.
Yeah, and I feel like a horrible co-host because I did not even look at it because I've been too busy.
That's all good. Yeah, Marlo Ronaldo is returning to pro wrestling. It's for
Yeah.
I actually thought it was a new federation, but it's called Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. They actually existed in the 80s. I don't know if you knew.
The funny thing is, I heard about his possible return was it a few months back?
Yeah.
And that was one of the names listed as a possible return, along with WWE, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, his time in WWE was a bit he could have made the case he could have come back to NXT and that, but I think NXT is doing really well in that. So, but yeah, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is now owned by Scott D'Amore, the former TNA president, and that. So
why am I not surprised with that one?
Yeah, it's
he's a great mind.
He's a great mind. I'm surprised either AEW or WWE didn't pick him up, and that's so yeah, it's just good to see him. Like it's a little indie promotion in Canada that might get big. Their first show is going to be on the 19th. It's a double show. It's the 19th and 20th of
How would you react if he did come back? Let's say he did come back to WWE. How would your reaction be to his first Mamma Mia back?
It'd just be like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It'd just be really good to see him back. I think he's just a really good. Where do you have him on your announcers? Like for me, it's I'm talking lead announcers. Like for me, it's Jim Ross by. I don't know. Like we'll have to do my top 10 of commentators and all that stuff. But Jim Ross is just up there. Then for me, Gorilla Monsoon. Oh God, I'm trying to think as well. He'd have to be in the top 5.
You talk about lead announcers or just announcers?
Lead announcers, yeah, lead announcers, yeah. Okay. So,
because I would have said Vince McMahon played actually a good role back in the day. But no, I'm serious.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Also touching, I don't know if you saw today. See, there's a Netflix docu series coming out in October.
I did see this. Yes,
I'm
really skeptical on what they're gonna do.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting in that. For those guys that don't know, Netflix is doing it. It's October. Yeah, I might have to get I think I might have to get a Netflix account just to watch that, or I might just watch it on something else in that. So, but yeah, their first the inaugural 2-night event. It's called Fortune Excellence at October 19th and 20th, and that. So, and it'll be streamed live on Thriller TV as well. So, I might see who else they get as wrestlers and all that stuff, but it's just to see good minds like Scott D'Amore still there and Marlo commentating again, which I'm all for. So yeah, that's the end of the news as well. So, and that's now we get on to Legion's favorite part of the thing, my booking, fantasy booking. I will say before I start this, I had to rush this a bit because we weren't going to. We were actually going to do the stream tomorrow, but due to reasons we had to do it today. It was going to be a 4-parter, but now it's turned into a 5-parter, and this is going to end at a couple of weeks before War Games and that. So just mind with me, just mind that. So, yeah, are you ready there, Legion?
Oh yes.
As you recall, the last thing we did was Bad Blood with the Tama Tonga and Tongaloa defeating the Usos in the War Games Advantage match. So now we go to Raw the 7th, which is 2 nights after Bad Blood and that. I got here night after Bad Blood, but, it's 2 nights after Bad Blood. Jay and Sammy are backstage talking when Roman, Jimmy, and Paul get into shot. Paul explains that he has been negotiating with Adam Pearce to appear on tonight's Raw and the other Raws leading up to War Games. So we'll give Raw a bit more of Roman because they're loving it. And then both Jay and Jimmy apologise to Roman. Roman says it wasn't their fault. That's gone now. And we need to focus on the War Games match and finding a 5th member. Unless the wise man is feeling oozy enough to step up. Paul... I knew you'd like that. Paul looks shocked at both Roman and the group and says, nope. And that. They all look to the ground and then look to Sammy. Sammy says, oh no, he won't agree to it. After everything the Bloodline did to him, Roman reminds him that the new Bloodline are doing the same thing, including to him. So unless he wants to help stop it, Sammy shrugs and says, we can go ask him. Roman says, looks like you two, pointing to Jay and Sammy, are coming to SmackDown. By the way, the dates are a bit off as well, so, don't worry about that as well. So, SmackDown, October 11th. Roman leads Sammy, Jay, Jimmy, and Paul out. This is the last segment, by the way. As Sami Zayn takes the mic and invites Kevin Owens to come out. Kevin comes out. Sammy starts by saying he knows Kevin's answer is going to be no, but wants him to hear him out. For years, KO and Sammy have been enemies, gone to war in different promotions. Hell, you even beat me. God, my writing is terrible, don't mind me. Hell, you even beat me with an inch of my life for the NXT title. But I forgive you, and because of that, not only did we have a stronger bond, but we were in the main event of WrestleMania, winning the tag titles. KO cuts him off by saying, yeah, against them two, points towards Jimmy and Jay. Jay mouths, my bad, Oos. Sammy says, yeah, I know, but if you don't help us, Solo and his new bloodline will destroy everything that they have worked for years. To get to the WWE, to have these awesome moments like now, and to perform in front of the best damn fans in the world. So Kevin, as he says Kevin, Roman cuts him off, steps in front of him, grabs the mic and says to KO, I know we'll never be friends, but we'll much prefer to fight alongside you because fighting against you sucks. We need you, Kevin. Roman extends his hand. KO looks at it. Looks at the group. KO drops the mic and walks to the back. SmackDown ends. By the way, this is the second half. This is the one I just did an hour before. It's going to be a bit rushed and that, so don't mind me and that. So, Raw, the 14th of October. Roman goes into Sammy's locker room, or just the locker room, and that, and asks if he has heard from KO. Sammy says no. Sammy says give him time, and he'll do the right thing. That's all it's going to be on Raw and that. So I know I could have probably put a match in there with, I don't know, one of them against Sammy against someone and that. But anyway, SmackDown the 18th of October. After Jay defeats Tama Tonga in the main event and all, Roman, Sammy, Jimmy, come out. We look up to the main screen and we get the video of Solo Tongaloa with a tied up Kevin Owens as they place him into a car and lock the door. Solo says that this was part of the plan to have all you guys there while we take care of Kevin Owens. Solo begins to look to the side as the camera pans to the side as we see a Hummer there with Jacob Fatu in it. Jacob Fatu begins to rev the Hummer, and I don't know how they would do it on TV, but if you can remember when Hogan ran over the Rock in the thing, even though there's in a truck, but we'll go with a Hummer and that. I don't know what car and that. We'll just go with a big car and that. Anyway, Jacob Fatu runs into the car with KO in it, destroying the car as SmackDown ends. Raw, the 21st of October. We start the show with exclusive footage of the aftermath of the Jacob Fatu crashing into the car with Kevin Owens. As we see Nick Aldis, officials, we'll have, backstage officials, and Sami Zayn wheel KO into the ambulance, and Sammy gets in with him and drives off. Jay, Jimmy, Roman, and Paul are watching this on a screen backstage on TV, and Jimmy goes, well, there goes that. Oos. Oos, did you talk to Sammy? Jay goes, he hasn't been taking my calls. Listen, Oos, we need to sort something out. Need to sort something out quick, but I got to go get ready for my match with. I just have Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental title. The others say go get it, and that Roman and Paul look concerned. Later on, Jay loses the match after Jacob Fatu does a run-in and interferes and cost Jay the match, and goes to the top of the stairs, where all the fans are, as we see Solo, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa there as well. There as Raw goes off the air. SmackDown the 21st. Last segment of the night is Roman and Jimmy and Paul in the ring doing an interview. I don't know how I could have done it, so I just have them as doing an interview as them explaining their thoughts on, Raw and that. Interview as both Jay and Sammy come out pissed. No music, nothing, they just come out pissed and that. Jay says, where were you guys on Monday? Sammy says pissed because KO is now out for a very long time due to us not being on the ball. They begin fighting, Sammy and Roman get into it. Jay and Jimmy get into it. Paul's just there shocked and worried. As Cody Rhodes runs to the ring, no music. I really hate it when they have music and they run out. That's a pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry. And that. To break it up, SmackDown ends. And that is the end of part 3. Your thoughts?
Oh. There's my thoughts.
It was a bit.
I have no words.
I was a bit rushed on that second half as well. I will say that. That's not to do anything about it. As I said to you off stream, I've got the story in my head, and that we're just getting into it. We would have gone to rest of War Games and that, but I wouldn't have had time to do it and that. So, part 4 will be a couple of weeks before War Games, and we'll end at the Rumble, and then the last part will be we're ending at Mania and that. So, have you thought of what the story is yet, or are you just going to keep it to yourself and that? So, what the name of the story is as well.
No, nope.
Okay, yeah, because if I name the story, it'll give away the ending and that, and I'm not doing that now. So, yeah. Part 4 will be the next podcast and that. So, we should probably get on to our predictions, shouldn't we?
Let's do it.
All right. Bash in Berlin. Let's start off with the match I didn't even know was happening until about an hour ago. We've got Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, the Unholy Union, defending the women's tag team titles against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. I've been saying this forever. I think they need to drop the tag team titles for the women's and have a secondary women's title. I know they've done it on NXT and it's working beautifully. Oh, by the way, with I know you were very happy with Joe Hendry appearing on NXT. I was extremely happy this week with Rosemary appearing on NXT. She's been one of my favorites as well, so I just thought I'd quickly say that. So, I mean, it makes no sense for Bianca and Jade to win. I'm sorry. Like, I think...
No.
Who would the titles be better with? I think the titles would be better with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn because they're an actual team. I know Bianca and Jade are an actual, like, they have themselves as a team.
I'm not seeing anything official. Speaking of the tag teams real fast, I'm seeing rumors, like heavy rumors, that a certain women's tag team is coming back in the near future.
Would you like to tell us who it is?
You probably know who it is.
I can't think of at the minute, but that's me. Go ahead.
The Iconics.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of, like I said, just take it with a grain of salt. We don't know how true these rumors are. Mm-hmm. Then again, it's the wrestling world. It's hard to tell what rumors are true.
Mm-hmm.
So I read about them, like, Sugar may like this because he actually liked them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they were to go against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, who would be the heels in that. So, I think this match, I know they've been having 6 women tags along with on SmackDown recently with Naomi and Blair Davenport, who I'm a fan of as well.
So, speaking of Blair Davenport real fast,
mm-hmm.
I'm actually laughing as soon as you brought it up because a coworker of mine called her a bootleg page.
Yeah, she is a bootleg page. I do agree with that.
I did not think about that until he mentioned it.
Yeah.
So
I actually agree. I actually agree as well on that. And currently I prefer her to what Paige has turned out to. No offense to Paige. She's still in my top probably 5 wrestlers ever and that, but some people don't need, I personally don't think need surgery, cosmetic surgery, and she didn't need it and that. So anyway, that's just personal thing. And she could chew me out on Twitter if she wants to. Not that she would. Not that she'd give a shit. And that. So she's doing it for the feel good. Good on her. But I don't think she's beautiful enough not to need it. And that's my opinion.
It'll make you smile. That's about it.
What's that?
It'll just put a smile on your face as she interacted with you.
Put a more smile on my face if Rhea was interacting with me. But anyway, that's a different story. Since I won, I got this. There's no logical reason that Bianca and Jade are winning, and that, for me personally. So I got the Unholy Union, Alba, and Isla Dawn winning, and I got Isla Dawn pinning Bianca for the extra points in that. What about you, Legion? Who you got?
That's the one thing I forgot to do is the who pinned who.
Oh well, just do who you think is winning, and then if you want to add that later on, you can go.
I really do agree with you. I do not see Bianca or Jade winning this match at all.
Yep.
Because I see the turn happening. It's got to happen.
Do you see the turn happening here or maybe later on?
It's got to happen here. It has to. They've been it looks like they've been teasing it for quite some time.
So we did. Who's turning heel? Is Bianca, isn't it?
That's the question. Is like it's hard, but I'd rather see Bianca turn heel over Jade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I see it it should be known who I was gonna pick, the Unholy Union.
Yep, the Unholy Union as well. So, and I'll get your extra point as well. How many points you got them for, Legion?
Just 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. I got them for 2. So yeah, I'm just going up in order I've read as well. We got the strap match next between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I thought after their match at SummerSlam, I thought we weren't going to see them till Bad Blood. So I'm really good. Strap match is interesting as well because we found out that both of them had strap matches in the past with Drew. Who did he? Drew actually. Drew lost his strap match. His only strap match. Can you guess? Can you guess who? He's in the WWE right now.
Who?
Karrion Kross.
That was back in TNA, wasn't it?
Nope. It was in WWE, and I do remember it was when Karrion returned in 2022, and that it was at Extreme Rules. You know when Bray Wyatt returned as well. So
I don't remember this.
yeah, because we were more focused on Bray Wyatt returning as well. So and by the way, it's been a year since he passed away as well. So
rest in peace.
Rest in peace as well. So yeah, and CM Punk beat Umaga back in the day for his strap match. So yeah. It's
Oh yeah, that one I do remember.
Yeah. So yeah, it's they went 50-50 like I said, like it was who would like Punk could have winning at SummerSlam could have made for the story and Drew winning could have made for the story and they went with Drew. So this I think it's going to be they're still easing Punk into it as well, so I've got CM Punk winning this match because then they'll end their feud at Bad Blood, and maybe maybe we'll have a first blood match. Who knows? Like
to be honest, I see this coming full circle because I'm gonna give you my pick real fast before I go into that spiel.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I see Punk winning this.
Yep.
For obvious reasons, it's like a win-win whole thing.
Yeah,
But I see them coming full circle with the whole Bad Blood thing, with the whole CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell. It's coming full circle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because Bad Blood back in the day was the very first Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Bad Blood finally making its return after all these years. It fits it perfect.
Yeah. Because I think they also want to do Rhea and that in a Hell in a Cell. If you can only pick one, who would you pick? One, would you pick Rhea and Liv having the match at Hell in a Cell, or Punk?
I'd rather do Drew and Punk because they have the story, the history.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Liv and Rhea in a steel cage, but I don't think that's going to happen the same night.
Yeah. Probably logistics and all that stuff. So you've got Punk winning as well. What's the score you got for that?
I got 3 points for that.
3 points. Wow. Okay. I've got it for one. I've got it for 1 point.
Yeah, I'm confident on this one.
The next match we got is the Terror Twins, known as Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, taking on.
Wow.
Oh God, this is Judgment Day, but Liv isn't Judgment Day, so Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio as well. I'm surprised. I know. I kind of thought it might have been Finn Balor. I know he's part of the Tag Team Champions now, but with him and Priest and that, they might do it at the next pay-per-view. And that, but this is, Priest is good as a heel as he is a face, and I actually think he's a better babyface than a heel. And you don't really say that on people as well, so... yeah, go on.
Go ahead. I'll talk about after this pick.
Yeah. Obviously, they're going to set up for Priest is going to go through the whole Judgment Day and all that stuff and that, and they're going to set up for Rhea and Liv at Bad Blood and that. I've got the Terror Twins winning, as they're now known, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. And I don't think this will happen, but I'm just taking a risk because someone told me the biggest risk in life is not taking a risk. I've got Rhea Ripley pinning Dominic Mysterio for the end. I don't think it'll happen because we'll probably find out that the men have to be in with the men and the women have to be in the women. But I think it'll be absolutely funny if that happened and hilarious.
Unless they're going with the old school mixed tag rules.
Yeah, which we don't know. I'm still going to stick with Rhea pinning Dom. I don't think Liv is getting pinned. I think Dom can eat the pin and still come out of it as good and that. So yeah, I've got Damian Priest and Rhea winning. What about you, Legion?
I agree with you actually on that one. I on 100% the entirety of what you just said right there. because I see Rhea and Damien coming on top, pretty much getting their revenge, sort of,
Yeah.
on them two. And after what you said with Rhea and Dom, like I got to be thinking, like that's the perfect ending. That's actually the perfect ending to that match.
Yep.
Is Rhea pinning Dom?
Yep. Maybe even add Liv in there as well. Like, could they? You know how Rhea likes to pin the God.
Like stack them.
Like the way that she pins them, which is very.
Oh,
I'm just trying to think how to put this. Very fantasy pinning.
Explicitly.
Can you see it doing it to both Liv and?
I can actually.
Maybe that. I don't know. Like that's the. I think Rhea needs to get the win because she didn't win as well. Win at SummerSlam.
Yeah, and the reason I say it this way is because I've been seeing things. I don't know if you saw them that they were possibly gonna put the tag because they're gonna drop might strip the tag titles from Judgment Day since they have defended it in 30 days now.
Mm-hmm.
And might have Rhea and Damien win it.
I don't know how the WWE feel now with like with back.
I've been seeing a lot of people comment on this, and they're all for it.
I'm for it, but with the age we're in now, violence against women and all that stuff, which I'm totally against in that.
It'll be, I think, a first in history have a mixed tag as tag team champions.
Yeah, they could go that route as well, and I think Rhea would do really well against the men as well, just like China did back in the day. I'm trying to think of others as well.
Beth Phoenix, I think.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix as well. I'm all for it's something different with the tag titles. Can I also say they either need to have a pre-show and have the men's tag. I know they like doing the not too many matches on these pay-per-views compared to the big pay-per-views. But when was the last time the men's tag titles, either of them was defended on the pay-per-view? Mania?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Probably, I can't really think of it.
The last time they were, it was Backlash?
Was it Backlash? Might have been Backlash. Still, that's
when they split the titles.
Yeah, but still, that's like 4 months ago, and that's come on.
Yeah.
Either have one or the other. And I'm not saying both. Just have one or the other. Like I was all for the tag team title splitting up. The way it's going now, I'd just say F it, put them back together. And that's so. How many points? I got By the way, I got Damien and Rhea for 3 points. What about you?
I got them for 2.
2, rightio. Ooh, I'm interested to see what your Oh no, we got the same as well. So no, all right.
Yeah, we probably do.
Yeah, let's get on to the WWE title match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Do you think we'll see the heel turn here? If we're gonna have a Jade or Bianca heel turn, we can't have 2 heel turns on a.
No, I don't see the heel. I see it like a tease.
A tease, and that like they've been teasing it. Do you want to see Kevin as a heel?
He's actually really good as a heel.
Like he's
good as a face. He's like good as both.
Yeah, and that it.
But honestly, I would love him to see him as a heel. I would love it.
Okay,
me personally, I would love to reignite the feud between him and Sammy.
I think after all this bloodline story will go down, I think we will get Sammy because Kevin Owens has only got, I don't know if you saw this, he's only got 6 months on his contract as well. So, and I don't think he's re-signed. So,
I don't think he will.
You think he'll go to a different promotion?
I think he will.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, that'll be good over there.
It's sad for me to say, to be honest, because I'm a huge Kevin Owens fan.
Yeah.
But because he's like the in a sense like the current age Stone Cold Steve Austin in a way.
Yeah.
The way he's personified.
Yeah. I'd hate to see him go as well because I think I still think he's still got a lot to give as well. I would even like to see him win the title one more time as well. The main title as well. Let me ask you,
but on a serious note, when it comes to Kevin Owens, when's the last time you really saw him win a big match?
Probably the Mania with him and Sammy beaten the Usos for the tag titles. That's the last
A
one.
year and a half ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard with all these wrestlers, getting their big wins and doesn't make sense story and all that stuff. I don't know. It's I'd really hate to be either, like we talk about, we'd hate to be Tony Khan, him trying to do all this, but I'd really hate to be Triple.
The only way I see. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say hate to be Triple H as well because he's got to try and keep everyone happy, but he can't keep everyone happy, and that's that's my
The
point.
only way for me seeing this false finish, or seeing Kevin Owens teasing a heel turn, or probably doing a heel turn, is having a false finish.
Yeah,
A true false finish.
yeah, true false finish. Yeah, we might. Yeah,
Have like the referee knocked out, Kevin Owens hit the stunner, and go for the pin. Pretty much him pinning him.
and getting the visual 3, but not the actual thing. Yeah,
Right, something like that, and it just it starts to go spiraling out of control with him. Right
yeah,
there.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I see.
I'm just really I was just really surprised by this as well. Like, I don't think they could have done. There was a story that was going to be, and I'm glad they didn't do it at Bash at Berlin. They were going to do Cody and Roman versus Solo and Jacob Fatu, and I said no, keep Jacob Fatu. They were going to say they're going to keep Jacob Fatu and Roman apart till War Games, and yet he appeared on SmackDown in a moon boot and the costume, and that I thought that was a bit of a bad play, and that, but that was a mistake they made. So I don't see Cody losing, but in saying that, if he was to lose the title and give Kevin Owens maybe a 3 or 4 month reign, I would not mind that. And well, but the fact that Kevin hasn't signed a contract, Cody's winning, and that. So, what about you?
Yeah. According to my statement earlier, yeah, I have Cody winning this.
Yep. How many points?
This is my lock.
Oh, this is your lock. My next match is my lock. So, yeah. Rightio. And then we get on to what will probably be the main event. Randy Orton from SmackDown challenging Raw's World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. It was an interesting call to have Orton come from SmackDown to challenge Gunther. I know they had the, whether it was meant to or not, the controversial finish in the King of the Ring final and that, but I think we said I would have loved to have seen, either maybe Sammy or even Ilya Dragunov as Gunther's first opponent, and that. So,
I would have really enjoyed that, but at the same time, it's like, no, build up for that match.
Maybe build up for it as well. Maybe even Jey Uso as a first opponent. I know we probably say, well, Jey needs to win in that. So, yeah, it's just I've always enjoyed, and I was gonna quickly get into the thing with Raw going to Netflix next year. Do you see the split roster still happening?
Is it only Raw moving, or is it both?
No, it's only Raw. I don't know what SmackDown. God, NXT has got they're going to a different network here as well. But you know what, Netflix. This is my issue as well with all the wrestling, the WWE shows being on different pardon me, on different like TV stations and all that. Netflix are going to want, like they would want. Okay, we want all eyes on Raw. We want Roman and they'd make the request to Triple H. Hey, can you get Roman as the main person on Raw, and that, which they have wanted as well. So, but he's on SmackDown at the minute, so it's
yeah. I would say have Roman. I would say move Roman to Raw, but have him finish his story.
Yeah, have him finish story first as well. So, which I think they will do on that. But it's just, I want to keep the brand. I like keeping the brands separate, and that, you could. I've always enjoyed that instead of having it all together. Then you just get more wrestlers focused on and less not focused on.
It becomes too congested.
Yeah, and that, like, the same people would be on. It'd be like the same 3 or 4 guys in that, like, on the whole thing, and that, and with it being split, we got maybe 8 or 9 guys getting focused, and that. So that's me. Gunther winning the title at SummerSlam, I'm still very shocked. I thought he was going to win, but then I thought it was going to be like a screwy finish, and this is where he would get his moment. And that for him to win the title, I do not see him losing. And that I think Orton will be a good first challenger for Gunther, and it might start another storyline after it if he loses, which I think he will lose, and that might start the I think currently for War Games, I think it'll be Orton and Rhodes. Personally, I don't know if you see that as well, and that so.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot about that.
So I got Gunther winning, and that the build-up's been really good. I've enjoyed the promos and all that stuff from both of them, and that. But yeah, I've just got Gunther winning, and that. What about you?
Yeah, I agree with you on Gunther winning this one because I don't see him losing it this soon.
No.
Especially how the career he's had.
Yeah.
I don't see him winning the big one and losing it right away.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see him? Do you see him holding it to Mania or?
I would say at the earliest Rumble.
Yeah.
That's the earliest.
I would see him losing it via triple threat where he wouldn't get pinned and that. So we could, say, hey, that's the only way I can see him getting out of it. I don't see him losing, getting the pin.
But the person I see him losing to is, I've been saying it for a long time now, is Dragunov. That's the person I see him losing it to. But the question is when.
I don't think, and then if Dragunov was to probably lose it because we've said that it's going to be Punk and Rollins at Mania for the title, currently at the minute, and that's so. Maybe Dragunov wins it and then loses it in the Elimination Chamber. Who knows? But yeah, how many points? I guess you got him for 4 from my.
Yeah.
So basically on the same again, except I need to get the tag. Who you got pinning?
I forgot what you said for when it came for that tag match. Who did you have pinning who?
The women's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Isla Dawn pinning Bianca Belair.
Okay.
And then
this is the only thing that's gonna the breaker probably for us.
Mm-hmm. What do you have?
Depending on who wins.
Do you have Rhea pinning?
I have
Dom?
Alba pinning. I have Alba pinning Bianca.
Okay. Radio.
That's the only swap out of.
And then do you have Rhea pinning Dom in
Yes.
You copied that.
Because that one.
Yeah, you copied.
Yeah, that's the one thing when I heard I have to go with that one. I have to.
Rightio. Well, that's
to go with what I've been hearing.
Rightio. Well, that's the end of our predictions and that. And I will say, I think it's going to be on early in the morning. I won't be able to do a stream that, unfortunately, because I think it'll be like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning for me. I ain't getting up for that. No offense. And that's the end of our predictions. Before we end the show, Legion, I believe you have an announcement. So the floor is yours, sir.
So as you all know, I don't stream anymore. But that's about to change. Come the next show will be my re-debut back on Twitch.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Now the question is, I don't have the date for the next pay-per-view, so we will keep you updated on that one.
It's going to be, what are we in? I think it's October. I think I had it. Yeah, I think it's October for Bad Blood. So.
Oh,
so
that actually works out perfectly then.
I think. Don't quote me in that. So I don't have the actual date in that. So I could probably quickly look at it in that. So you'll be streaming again.
If it is October.
Was that?
Yeah. Yep. If it is October, that's around my birthday.
Oh, nice. So I'll ask the question. Are you going to be? What's this going to be? Full on schedule? Is it going to be a part-time schedule?
It's going to be a part-time schedule.
Yep.
Like it was in the past, but it probably even more part-time.
Yep.
Than. So.
Are there any certain Is it just going to be for pay-per-views, or are you going to be streaming video games? Like what video games if you do and that? So.
It'll probably be playing because I've been playing this all the time. Is Final Fantasy 14.
Final Fantasy 14.
If I do stream a game, it will be that. But for the time being, it'll probably just be for the podcast.
All right. Okay. Well, that's all good. And that's yeah. It's also Bad Blood is the 5th of October, so we'll be a couple of days before that. So got enough time in that. So yeah, make sure you guys go follow Legion if you want to do your in the YouTube thing, post your thing, you can mostly go for it. So now I've got a surprise for you, and I didn't want to give it away. And that we all know we've got Bash in Berlin as the pay-per-view. I don't know if many of you know, but the next day we've got NXT No Mercy. And I don't know if Legion has been paying attention. Of course he's been paying attention, because the main event is Ethan Page defending the NXT title. I don't know if you can do it, Legion, while I try and prep you up, against your favorite. I don't know if you want to do the soundbite. You going to do the soundbite?
Take his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
And I will say, I had him winning the title until the NXT show on Wednesday, because I don't know if you saw, they've announced
I did.
They've announced a special guest referee, and if they turn him heel, it's going to be one of the worst decisions ever, because Trick Williams is going to be the guest referee, and he is so over in NXT. Why would they turn him heel?
Yeah, it does not make sense one bit.
It's either going to
Zero.
Yeah, it's either going to be him accidentally costing it, then maybe they'll have a feud in that. But yeah,
the funny thing is, if Vince was still in control, he would have turned him heel.
Yeah. And I know it makes no sense, but we also got maybe Pete Dunne will get involved in that. But I'm going to be watching it, and I pray to God, because it would make a bit of news as well. An NXT guy winning a title and the thing, will WWE pull it off? I think they can pull it off as well. So.
I will say this, though.
Yep.
If they do turn him heel, there's only one person I'm blaming.
Who's that?
You know who that is?
Who's that?
Santos Escobar.
So that's a bit of a surprise. I know you're probably. I don't know if you were waiting for the Joe Henry reference as well. So,
trust me. As soon as he won the match, oh my lord.
I probably won't even need to talk to you. I won't even need to talk to you on Discord. If he wins the title, I'll be able to hear you from the US.
I'm surprised you didn't hear me all the way in Australia.
Yeah.
Hearing me.
So yeah, even though this was a quick put together show and that, it actually worked out a lot better than I actually thought in that. So yeah, thank you again to Legion. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Yep. We'll see you guys for hopefully you enjoy wrestling this week as well. Like, we've got a lot of big wrestling events, like I said. Bash in Berlin, No Mercy, and then I think the week after is All Out as well. So they're just starting to get the card there for the AEW next pay-per-view and that. So hope you guys enjoy your wrestling and that. So yeah, that's the end of the show. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. My football team's still playing in my comp and that, so I won't be streaming on Sunday and that. So hope you guys enjoy the weekend and that. So until then, I'm Sugar Ray.
And I am Dijon.
And we will see you next time, guys. Hope you have a lovely weekend, rest of your day, whatever. Take care, and bye-bye.